There's something for everyone on PlayStation Plus. Here are the top 20 open-world games available on Sony's service. Number 20. Prey. Prey is a sci-fi thriller FPS that may not receive as much attention as its stablemates Dishonored and Dishonored 2, but trust us when we say it is just as good as those two masterpieces. Prey puts players in the shoes of Morgan Yu as he explores the space station after it has been invaded by an alien threat. The game combines aspects of horror, stealth, and Metroidvania gameplay. It also allows the players to explore the game environment however they like. This game has a really intriguing premise, sharp and dynamic gameplay, a gorgeously atmospheric environment, and some genuinely terrifying enemies. Number 19. Saints Row the Third. PS Plus has every Saints Row game, except for the first entry, and they are all unique. Saints Row 2 maintains a good balance between serious and comic story, while the gameplay is good, but not particularly unusual in the open-world genre. Saints Row the Third began to convert the franchise into a cartoon, with more crazy missions, silly weapons, and over-the-top characters. All three Saints Row games have their positive aspects, but the third wins out because it strikes a balance between the somewhat grounded tone of its predecessor and the unapologetic craziness of its sequel. It's just entertaining to cause mayhem on Steelport's streets as the Saints' charismatic leader. Number 18. Gravity Rush 2. In 2012, Gravity Rush debuted as a launch title for the PlayStation Vita. Gravity Rush is most recognized for its gravity mechanics, since Kat can control gravity to her whim. Gravity Rush was good enough to receive a PS4 remaster and a sequel in Gravity Rush 2. The scale and duration of Gravity Rush 2 are far greater than its predecessor, and it also gives Kat and the players the answers they need regarding her origins. In this universe-swapping adventure, players will be taken to multiple locations in Gravity Rush 2's stunning open world. The excellent sequel Gravity Rush 2 improves on the original in almost every way. Number 17. Kingdom Come Deliverance. Kingdom Come Deliverance is a role-playing game that puts realism before anything else. The open-world title is set in the 15th century, casting players as the sole survivor of a butchered village. Therefore, vengeance is on the cards, but the path will be long, difficult, and terrible. Rather of traditional classes, Kingdom Come Deliverance requires players to gain talents via experience, and they will ultimately gain abilities and proficiencies that reflect many aspects of life. The game is played in first-person perspective, and it has a high learning curve, especially in terms of fighting. This game is designed for players who want to immerse themselves completely in a grounded but nonetheless strange environment. Number 16. Infamous Second Son. Playing any of the Infamous titles on PS Plus is worthwhile. While Cole's entries are enjoyable and generally well-rated, Second Son went unnoticed because of its early release in the PS4's lifetime. Infamous Second Son is still one of the PS4's best-looking games, despite being released less than a year after the console's launch, and its iteration of Seattle is amazing. Second Son grows into something absolutely unique, as Delson Rowe discovers new abilities and techniques to engage with the world. This is a short open-world game, offering a great alternative to Horizon Zero Dawn's world. Number 15. Death Stranding Director's Cut. The first game created by Hideo Kojima, following his split from Konami, was about as weird as everyone had predicted. The process of walking, climbing, scrambling, and tumbling over dangerous but beautiful landscapes is actually a lot more interesting than it seems, despite the fact that some people dismiss it as a walking simulator. Don't expect a high-action thriller, since it is actually rather a therapeutic experience, though there are moments of it here and there. While the protagonist will encounter a few weird monsters along the road, he puts most of his effort on making sure that he doesn't drop his packages. Perhaps the plot is not that good, but Death Stranding is a bizarre game that anybody interested in open-world games should at least try. Number 14. Final Fantasy XV Royal Edition. With the release of Final Fantasy XV, Square Enix brought the Final Fantasy series to the open-world genre. Fans got a taste of open-world gameplay prior to its release with games like Final Fantasy VII, which allowed them to travel an overworld using an airship. But with Final Fantasy XV, the series finally achieves full freedom, allowing players to explore a massive open world full of enemies, items, towns, and mysteries. The final result is an amazing and special Final Fantasy game, which follows four heroes on a trip through a vast land. The game has the same hybrid-style action combat and action-time battle system that players have come to love. Number 13. Yakuza Like a Dragon. Yakuza Like a Dragon departs from the original series by introducing some tough turn-based combat into the action. This replaces the franchise's traditional arcade street slugging with something little more complex and interesting. It's a unique Yakuza game that incorporates the JRPG fighting and concepts into a present-day environment. The emotive story resonates all the way to its heartbreaking conclusion, making it feel as you are truly walking in the streets of Japan. Yakuza Like a Dragon is a great starting point for newcomers who might have been turned off by the large list of previous releases in the series. Number 12. Skyrim Special Edition. Skyrim always has more to discover whether or not you've played it. Since its initial release in 2011, this sizable open-world RPG has seen a number of re-releases, yet it still manages to keep players hooked. Skyrim's open-world approaches perfection as it encourages exploration and discovery. With the improved graphics, effects, lighting, and other improvements that come with the special edition, you may now create your own hero and make your own adventures. Despite being more than 10 years old, this Western RPG still represents the pinnacle of design and scale. Number 11. Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. This game serves as an introduction to playing as Miles Spider-Man. It changes the main game's whole map to a winter setting, includes new side missions and events, and features a compelling, unique story that is suitable for Miles' character. Everything you like about the original game is back, including the combat, upgrades, collectibles, and unlockable suits. Players get to swing around New York City during the winter, while working through a very personal plot that does a fantastic job of engaging Miles Morales to those who are unfamiliar with his comics. This slightly scaled-down Spider-Man story is ideal for a game like this. Miles Morales is one of the best open-world games on PS Plus Extra, and it's a whole Spider-Man experience in a small package. If you are enjoying the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Number 10. Fallout 4. As the lone survivor of Vault 111, players must start searching for their son after being kidnapped from the vault by a strange group of mercenaries and scientists. It's a simple and noble goal, but when you consider an irradiated wasteland filled with dangerous monsters, raiders, and long-abandoned ruins hiding crucial supplies, it's clear that the journey will be difficult. It's impossible to describe a nuclear-wrecked wasteland as wonderful, but Bethesda's renowned open-world beauty is still very much present. Fallout 4 received a lot of criticism for its linear plot and difficult conversation navigation, but there's still a lot to like. Number 9. Assassin's Creed Origins. Assassin's Creed Origins was the first game in the series to break from the series' established formula and become practically a real Western RPG. Set in ancient Egypt, which has been carefully recreated, you will discover the origins of the ancient assassin order, as well as the personal story of the game protagonist. While the Egypt you explore in the game is an open world and technically accessible from the beginning, the game fences you in using its leveling system. Each of the game's regions feature a suggested level range. The ranges show a pretty clear path of where you're supposed to go, so you can find missions your character is ready for. Number 8. Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn is one of the best PS4 exclusives, and it is also one of the best open-world games on PS Plus. Set in the distant future when humanity has regressed by centuries and Earth has become overrun by nature and machines. Even though it's from 2017, this game still looks fantastic. You get a beautiful, wide-open world to explore, as well as hours of missions and tasks to do. The open world is visually magnificent, and the fighting system is extremely enjoyable. If you're looking forward to the sequel or the VR spin-off, you should start here. Number 7. Watch Dogs 2. Watch Dogs 2 is a nice hacking sandbox in which you may create mayhem as part of an activist group known as DedSec in a somewhat future San Francisco. You play as Marcus Holloway, a young hacker. You can navigate the game's world on foot or by the various vehicles featured in the game. The driving mechanic was overhauled and designed to be more accessible. The player can use their weapons while driving. Though the game seeks to address a few significant issues, such as technology spying and privacy, that is not why you should play it. It's the joy while you are causing massive mayhem to fulfill your missions. Number 6. The Long Dark. The world has devolved into a post-apocalyptic state, putting the player in a freezing Canadian wasteland. Wintermute, the game's story mode, takes players through a very straightforward path that teaches them the fundamentals of survival. Although this option is good, it is really a prelude to the Long Dark survival mode. As the title indicates, this part is all about surviving for as long as possible, despite the enormous challenges of the weather, cold, and wildlife. The Long Dark gives the player the freedom to do their own things. With death lurking around every corner, the game maintains a continual sense of tension as players desperately try to keep their meters healthy in an environment that appears to be made to harm them. The Long Dark is not an easy game, but it does have a variety of difficulty options so that players may customize their experiences. Number 5. Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds is an open-world mystery that focuses exclusively on exploration and discovery, with the only solution being to keep looking. You take on the role of an astronaut from the Outer Wilds space program. The sun will go supernova every 20 minutes of gameplay, causing the player to reawaken on their home planet. You'll continue straight away, with the same 20-minute time limit, allowing you to explore the solar system and solve the mysteries that lurk around you. Number 4. Marvel's Spider-Man. There are a lot of superhero games on PlayStation Plus Extra, and although they're all wonderful, none of them define the PS4 quite like Marvel's Spider-Man. This open-world game looked extraordinary from the moment it was announced. You take on the role of the superhero Spider-Man, who can navigate the world by jumping, using his web shooters to fire webs that allow him to swing between buildings, running along walls, and automatically vaulting over obstacles. The web swinging feels wonderful, the fighting is dynamic and smooth, and the cast of characters is excellent. The studio's original story isn't hesitant to alter things up, and it's all the better for it, bending what we know about Spider-Man into something familiar yet new. Marvel's Spider-Man is a true gem, impossible to put down, and entertaining from start to finish. Number 3. Tom Clancy's The Division 2. The Division 2's basic gameplay involves players in a variety of PvE tasks across a post-apocalyptic-like Washington, D.C., where a nationwide outbreak has led civil war to spread across the country. Players will act as division agents, clearing out rebellious factions from different Washington, D.C. sites and structures. While The Division 2 is best played cooperatively as a team-based shooter, users may also engage in PvP combat with other players in order to take valuable items. The cover shooting mechanics are good, the opponent AI is intelligent and aggressive, and the mission design is diverse and interesting. Simply told, this game is one of the best shooter games available on PlayStation Plus. Number 2. Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus is a remake of the original game that was released in 2005 for the PlayStation 2. Like the top remakes, it maintains the original story, general design, and gameplay, while improving controls and performance. Shadow of the Colossus drops players in a desolate environment and gives them a simple mission that requires them to defeat 16 roaming colossi to rescue the life of a single girl. The Forbidden Land is frightening, yet also stunning. This is a fantastic remaster and a fun game in its own right, which offers a great story that takes the player on an emotional journey that sticks in the mind for a long time. Number 1. Ghost of Tsushima, Director's Cut. This game takes players back to the 13th century when the Mongols attacked Japan's Tsushima Island. Jin Sakai goes on a quest to recruit fighters that may help turn the tide of battle after he failed to stop the invasion and was about to die. The game provides a compelling story, interesting characters, and an open world that doesn't waste your time with a ton of items and a lot of side content. You may completely concentrate on your samurai quests across the magnificent island of Tsushima by just following the direction of the wind. This game is one of the best open-world adventure games you can play right now on PlayStation because it offers a beautiful insight into historical Japan, while also offering unrivaled virtual tourism. We hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.